Right, Dan. I thought maybe let's use this cyber savvy behavior to talk about something that's borderline illegal to do, but what a lot of people are fond of doing. And obviously, everyone loves customization, and this leads to many of us rooting our devices, if that's an Android device, or jailbreaking if it's an Apple device. But before we dive into this next cyber savvy behavior, maybe let me take a stab at just explaining what it is, and maybe if I fall short, you can pick up the pieces here, Dan, and fill in the gaps. But from my understanding, rooting is the process of unlocking a device if it's an Android device, and jailbreaking if it's a Apple device. And basically, what it does is it gives the user more freedom to customize the device and basically achieve more administrative control. Um, and from my understanding, if it's an Apple device that's been jailbroken, obviously, like we mentioned, you get more access to controlling or customizing your device. But not only that, you get access to apps on the App Store which are not in your geographic location. Um, so yeah, that's what I understand from it. Dan, did I maybe leave anything out?
Yeah, that's pretty bang on, mate. Yeah, you've pretty much nailed, for both Android and Apple there.
Awesome. Let's maybe start with why rooting or jailbreaking is a big no-no.
Well, first things first, especially with the context that we talk about and raising awareness and what we do at Goldfish. Number one is there's security risks with it. Rooting your device it has the potential to expose that device to security vulnerabilities. Rooting grants elevated privileges, exactly like you explained. However, malicious apps or actions could exploit those elevated permissions and compromise your device's security. So security is number one there. There's also a chance that you could void a warranty. So many device manufacturers will void warranties if they detect that a device has been rooted. This means you may lose out on the warranty coverage for repairs or replacements, regardless of what has happened to them. Software instability. Rooting can often lead to software instability, especially if you're not familiar with the process or install incompatible software onto your device. So that could result in frequent crashes, freezes, or other issues that'll just drive you absolutely bonkers with your device. And then finally, updates and compatibility. So rooted devices, for all the advantages that they could bring, they may have difficulties receiving official software updates. If you mess with the device, it may impact your ability to actually take on updates of official operating systems. Updates may fail, or certain apps might not work correctly due to the altered system configuration. So again, you mess with a small thing, try and get some better privileges and advantages, you could mess with a ton of other things. So it's a really dangerous thing to be messing around with.
Okay, cool, Dan. And then I think a follow-up on that is, why should you rather opt to keep your device's software in its original form as opposed to now jailbreaking or rooting your device?
Sure, yes. I mean, there's obvious advantages to getting access to everything that you spoke about and getting those extra privileges. I've covered some of the negative impacts, of doing that, and some of the worries and stuff of doing that. But think of your mobile operating system like a well-trained guard dog. It's there to protect you, to keep you secure. When you keep your device's operating system in its original unaltered state, you maintain a level of security that's been carefully crafted by some of the smartest, nerds out there. It's perfect in the state that it's released. It's absolutely perfect. Plus regular updates. So they're like giving. Anytime that you're updating your device, you're taking more training for that guard dog. You're improving the security skills, the capabilities of that device. Anytime that you root or jailbreak a device, you're messing with that, and you're compromising the value of security of that device. So it's definitely worth keeping it in its original state.
And that's a great analogy that you use there, Dan. It really does explain why you should not mess with something that's not broken. And but I'm gonna play a bit of devil's advocate here, Dan. And I love the fact that you are able to customize your device receive access to apps that you usually wouldn't have access to. And you can essentially get more out of your device from rooting or jailbreaking it. How would you convince me or the listeners to not root your device?
Okay. Number one, resist the temptation. The allure of locking new features. It's not worth the trade-off in security. What do you value? Do you value, a couple smart apps and being able to download a certain software, or do you value security? Me personally, the value for me for security is way higher than any fancy new features I could possibly get by doing that. So, it's not worth the trade-off in security. Keep your device as it was intended, secure and protected. It's one of the most important things, really. Secondly, regular updates are your best friend. So just like you'd hit the gym to keep in shape, regular OS updates, keep your device in top security form. Don't ignore them, and don't jeopardize the quality of those updates by jailbreaking your device, and those updates could get messed with as well. So secondly, super important about the updates. And then finally, just understand the risks. We've spoken about it here, quickly in this episode is, before even considering rooting or jailbreaking a device, think about what you're exposing yourself to. Think about all the personal information you have, the really private, sensitive information that you may have. Think about your banking apps that you've got. Think about your entire life that you've got on that device, whether it's business or personal, and you're putting all of that at jeopardy just for a couple stupid free apps. Okay. It's not worth it. Understand the risks and, move on.
Yeah, 100%. And I think just to add to that, really is like we mentioned a couple of times, rooted or jailbroken devices, you can install third-party apps or gain access to more apps than you usually would, and these can be on authorized, sites such as your Google Play Store or your App Store, your Apple App Store. But it also gives you access to unauthorized apps and sites, which obviously is a big no-no. So that, yeah, just to add to your list there, that's from my side, Dan.
All right, yeah, S. Keeping your mobile device unrooted, it's not about missing out, okay? It's about staying secure in a digital world that's the threat is constantly increasing. There's constantly new threats arising. And so you're just trying to keep ahead of that. It's about making sure that the only ones getting into your digital life are those that you've actually invited. All right, in the battle of mobile security, staying unrooted is like, keeping the high ground. It gives you that advantage the whole time. So keep it original, keep it updated, and keep your cyber threats at bay. It's your digital peace of mind. We are living day to day on our mobile devices now. Everything is done. Our business is done through it. Our family communications are done through it. Our personal lives are documented and saved on our mobile devices. All of our banking, our shopping, everything is done on that stupid thing in your pocket. You compromise the security on that, you're going to have a really shitty day very, very quickly. And that's going to be a hell of a lot more impactful than missing out on a couple stupid apps or themes for your phone. So, yeah, stay away from it.
100%, Dan. And just to add to that, actually heard this morning or read this morning, South Africans are the worst in terms of time spent on their mobile devices. Apparently, on the global rating, we're number one, and we spend 54% of our waking time on our mobile devices or smart devices. So it's a lot of time at risk. So definitely do not jailbreak your device or your Android device. But yeah, that's it for the next cyber savvy behavior. Thanks for your time, Dan. I'll catch you in the next one.
Cheers, see you later, mate.